What's up, YouTube? Allende the artist, back with another tip and yet another whip, kicking it in Vegas, Nevada. Right now it's about 105 degrees. Feels like there's nowhere hotter. And I want to chop it up about these new hoes and one of these new Tahoes. So I'm gonna discuss why I believe that the oldest profession is not only necessary, but it's actually what keeps relationships honest. So where do I start? As many of y'all probably know, Vegas is one of the states that's always been pretty lenient on sex work. So the girls are pretty open, they're pretty open about it here, man, or extremely open, I should say. And the first time I came to Vegas, probably the only thing I didn't like about it, man, I had a great time, but the only thing I didn't like is that it seemed like every chick was working, man. I'm like, you meet her in CVS, turns out she working. You run into her at the hotel in the lobby or something, she working. You know what I'm saying? All the girls is out here hustling, right? At least the ones that you see by themselves or in pairs of two, they usually hustling. If you see a group of girls, obviously they're partying. But so one of the things that guys probably are a little bit confused about is why these chicks these days feel so entitled. And the reason why is because they feel valuable. And the reason why they feel valuable is because our society is rewarding the Jezebel spirit. And it's hard for guys to kind of relate to it because we don't value attention the same way women value attention. You know what I mean? Like, if you got an Instagram and it's got, a ridiculous amount of followers as a guy, I mean, that's cool for status, popularity, but it ain't gonna feel like much if you're not making money. But a girl can just be satisfied with the followers alone. Attention to them is currency. If y'all don't know that, catch up. You know what I mean? So what happens is these girls get all this attention, for the type of images that they're posting, for the way that they're soliciting their sexuality. That's what they're getting rewarded for. And when they look into the girls that got the most followers, that's what they're doing. So obviously that's what these girls are going to inspire to, to emulate, right? So let's talk about the oldest profession. It's called the oldest profession because it's like the oldest profession, right? So back in the day, there was always brothels and, these locations available to the men of the community. And it was real simple when it came to women. They were either one extreme or the other. They were either a woman of the night, you know what I'm saying? They're a working girl, and they're servicing the clientele, and all that matters is the agreed price. And then the other extreme was the virgin until married. Now what you guys got to understand is on a psychological level, this worked because both demographics were rewarded. The women that were working, they already knew that this is the life that, that they're living. Whether they chose it or not, whatever the situation is, this is the side of the fence that they're on. And they're going to be valued based on that. They're going to be paid and compensated based on the service that they're providing to the men, right? Period. Now, on the other side, you had women who had to rely on their parents, on their folks, until they got married off. And now, what was the selling point? What was the value to the man is that she was unused. You know what I mean? She was valuable because she wasn't yet used. She wasn't she wasn't had by any other man, right? Real simple. So it was kind of like coins. If you guys know anything about old coins, coins from the 1800s, you have what's called circulated coins and you have what's called uncirculated coins. Now you could have the same exact coin and it could be worth 30, 40 bucks, or that coin could be worth 100,000. And what's different is Has this coin been circulated? In other words, has this coin been used? Or is this coin uncirculated? Meaning it's never been passed around, nobody ever bought anything with it. So it's real similar to a woman, you know what I mean? Or at least in those days, if a woman was uncirculated, nobody ever had her, she was marriage material, she was fit to be a wife, right? So she would be rewarded for her chastity with the marriage, and therefore taken care of, and so on and so forth. So fast forward to modern day, what's happening is we're no longer rewarding women for virginity. We're not rewarding women for their purity or their chastity. It's actually like damn near laughed at by the society. So guys aren't even looking for it. Guys aren't even checking for it. They're not even expecting it, or like what guy nowadays is expecting to meet a virgin, you know what I mean, over the age of 16? It's just not realistic, right? So why would a girl hold on to her virginity? And that's an extreme, obviously. All right. Why would she guard her purity and forego those experiences? Because obviously women enjoy fornicating as well. So why would she sit back and go ahead and miss out on the party for what? You know what I'm saying? What's the reward? Is some extremely wealthy guy gonna scoop her off her feet and marry her, make her a wife and all this kind of stuff, right? And unfortunately, we have that entitlement inflation when it comes to women. Back in the day, she would be a virgin just waiting on a guy that was doing average or above average. Nowadays, for a woman to be interested in marriage, we already know he needs to be in the top 20%, 10% of earners, which within itself is unrealistic, but it is what it is, right? So the question is, what type of guy is waiting for her on the other end of of not sleeping around and holding on to her virtue, right? But on the other end, these women are getting rewarded in real time for promoting their sexuality. You know what I mean? For leveraging their sexuality, soliciting it, whatever you want to call it. Whether it's just showing it off on Instagram or it's full-blown selling it. You know what I mean? They're getting rewarded for that in their mind. They're making money, right? So in their head, they have an inflated sense of value, because it's like, if this guy got to pay $300 to spend time with me, this guy got to spend $500 to spend an hour with me, in her mind, that's value, because guys are paying for it. As we obviously know, on the flip side of that, there's not going to be any men of value that's waiting for her on the other end to marry her and hold her down as she, matures and goes into her older years, and obviously doesn't have that same youth and beauty that she had before, right? So that's hindsight. But these young girls obviously aren't thinking that far ahead, but it's still an interesting dilemma that they're caught between. Am I gonna sit here and keep my body off the market, waiting on Prince Charming, or am I go ahead and get rewarded in real time? So let's get to my overall point and what should be interesting. I'm not interested in sex work at all. I would hate to see that being the average girl, even though that's where we're going. We got to be realistic. It's going to be legalized soon. I can almost guarantee you that. So, the thing is that if that's the route that we're going, what's going to be the ramifications? And I actually think it probably would actually bring back marriage. It has the potential to. And this is why I think legalizing sex work actually has the potential to bring back functional relationships. If that were to happen, obviously there'd be a price on every girl's head. But what also would happen is that dating would finally be dead. It would be pronounced dead on arrival. Everybody says it's dying, dating is terrible these days and whatnot, but it would for real be over with. But what would come back, what would resurrect from the death of dating, is courting. And let me explain. If women are selling it, that's going to put a price on it, right? It's going to put that open option and take away the stigma for guys, because the stigma is gone for women. Who are we kidding? The stigma is gone for women as far as sex work, but the stigma is still there for guys, in the sense of guys don't want to feel like they're paying for it. They don't want to get caught out there paying for it. It's still embarrassing. It's still, it's not a comfortable thing to be open about or public about. As a guy, I'm gonna go out here and buy some time from this girl. So what guys are doing is obviously indirectly buying it by paying for expensive dates, trying to impress the girls and so on and so forth. Now, should the stigma evaporate, what's going to happen is guys are going to say, psh, Why am I gonna go out on a date with a girl? Why am I gonna pay, for her to have a good time? Why am I gonna spoil her, impress her, and all this type of financial activity when I could just simply pay for what I want? And what I want is just straight up, physical. I just want intimacy. That's all that I'm interested in with this particular girl. So now that we have the option of just paying for it, if she's not, working, I'm just gonna find somebody that is. She's a pedestrian at this point, and I'm gonna go look for a professional. But for the women who said, nope, I'm not doing that, I'm going to go on the other side. What's going to happen now is if a guy is willing to take her out or go out with her, she's going to know he's genuinely interested in a relationship, in which sense he'd be courting her. And she knows this because if he was only interested in the sex, he would just go pay for it. You see what I mean? And that would bring back the honesty that's missing in dating, because that's the issue right now. Girls are pretending like there's someone interested in a guy. He's wasting his time and his money only to find out she's not interested in you, dude. And girls are out here giving up their body to guys, quote unquote F-boys, thinking that they can lock down this guy that's out of their league. And then what's happening? He's using her, smashing, he's getting the heck up out of there. So you have the high status guys are using the women, physically. And not giving the women what they want, which is the relationship and the commitment. And then you got the women using the average guy for the attention, you know what I mean? And for the entertainment, for the food, the dates, the concerts, whatever the case may be. So that would bring back the honesty to that male and female interaction, because either it's about the sex and we got to negotiate a price, or we're genuinely trying to work on a relationship, and that's what it is. So anyway, that's just my thoughts. That's what I think about it. This isn't even like a new thing. I've always kind of in the back of my mind been kind of thinking about that. Like, damn, you know what I mean? But now that we're hearing more and more that, the people that call the shots and decide the laws and rules are considering it more and more, I think what we need to start considering is how is that going to affect our society? What's going to be the next metamorphosis that this gender conflict goes through? And, at first glance, that sounds like a terrible thing, but let's be realistic. Women are already selling it. You know what I mean? It's sad. I mean, these girls are young as heck and they're already out here hustling it. Whether it's Instagram, OnlyFans, Snapchat, every chick in her bio or profile now has her Cash App in there, her Venmo in there. So it's like they're already charging for their time. They're already charging for their attention. They're already charging guys to respond to them. You know what I mean? So we're already there, fellas. Let's face it, we're there. Seeking arrangements, sugardaddy.com. I mean, we've been there. So who are we kidding, bro? If they legalize it, all they're gonna do is just make it, a no cap situation at this point, where it's like, you ain't need to lie, Craig. We already know what you're doing, shorty. So I think that would definitely bring back a level of transparency between men and women. So it might restart courtship. It might get us back on the same page to an extent, bro. For the guys that want to pay for it, just pay for it. And another thing that I think it would rescue virgins, because there's no such thing as incels or involuntary virgins if you got some money, dog. Because like I said, it's already been for sale. But I think that would definitely make a difference in all these guys who lack experience, who aren't getting laid. You know what I mean? Now they have that open and legal option on the table. Me personally, I ain't paying for nothing, bro. It ain't happening. Hey, but it is what it is. So y'all go ahead and put that on your head. Keep it tight. Stay focused. Don't waste too much damn time. And I'm gonna holler back at y'all with some more tips soon, man. Peace.